Let's take a deep breath together. Inhale, hold it at the top, and then exhale. And let yourself move into a rhythm of breathing. In for 3 or 4 seconds, hold it at the top, and then out for 5, 6, 7 seconds. Longer exhale than inhale. Allowing your body to relax. As you breathe deeply, your heart rate slows a bit. Your body relaxes. The mind quiets. You're more able to hear your soul speak. We're more attuned to the voice of God within us. Just let yourself be. Letting go of the distractions of the world, of your busy lives. Letting go of all obligations, responsibilities, all the hats that you wear. And center in on just you and God. God is the seat of our being. The infinite presence, omnipresence, omnipotent, omniscient. Knowing all things, creating all things. Expressing as all things. Refreshing and revitalizing you in each moment of every day. Inexhaustible source of energy, wisdom. Divine intelligence. Draw your attention to these things. Let the stillness refresh you. Let the silence speak to you. Be still and know that I am God. When we truly know God, there is only peace. There is rest. You are calmed by the still waters of life. You are guided in each moment to your highest and best. And you feel a strength and a power under all that you do. You recognize it as the power flowing through your veins. You recognize it as the light in the eyes of another. You see it in blades of grass, in the bud of a flower, the song of a bird, the wagging of a dog's tail. The sound of the surf. The blue of the sky. The movement of clouds. And the melody of song. In the rest between notes, in the touch of a loved one, the kiss on a forehead, God is in and through all things, and we rejoice in it. Now, from this place of peace and gladness, let us sing our centering song, Spirit's Prayer. From 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. This is a reading from October 15, from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. We live in the midst of an unlimited presence, forever in action as an unlimited mind. It created us and it sustains us. It operates through us. All it asks of us is our recognition of it. As we affirm the presence and power of God in our lives, something happens within us to improve us. This can be tested by anyone who wishes to see what will happen when God works in his experience. It requires no advanced study, no educational background, no particular vocabulary or posture. The process of approaching the deity is merely one of knowing it is and that it abides within. But we affirm we become. As we affirm God, we actually become the sons of God and heirs to all that God is and has. Quote, draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh unto you. End quote. There is only one presence, God, and I am in it. There is only one power, God, and it acts through me this day. There is only one mind, God, and it is my mind now. All around me at every instant is the same presence that enfolded Jesus. The same mind which acted through him is now in action through me. I am the heir of all that God is and has, and I know it. I live in a spirited universe governed by a spiritual law. This is always working for my good. I am safe, for God is with me. I am wise, for God is in me as my consciousness. There is nothing to fear. God around me, God within me, all is well within me today. And so it is.
Oh, I'm going to stand up here. I feel so tall. Today's word is personification from Divine Audacity. Imagination is perhaps the greatest tool for us to assume and claim our divine identity. The future we have been envisioning demands one thing of us, that we be the person who can live in the desired future. The counterpart to manifestation of an idea is embodiment, or being a living expression of qualities required for the idea to become reality. Embodiment is the pinnacle of creation. Rest in the assumption that you are already what you want to be, for in that determined assumption, you and your infinite being are merged in creative unity, and with your infinite being, God, all things are possible. By the power of imagination, I live as if I incarnate or embody the character necessary for the ideal to become real. I become the personification of fulfilled consciousness. This is what Jesus the Christ did, and it's the reason he is often named the incarnate Word. The Word became flesh, acknowledges that the word or the idea of the spiritual human can be embodied. Jesus is revered to this day because of his comprehension of the idea that spiritual human and his audacious embodiment of spiritual human consciousness. Jesus accepted his divine identity. He understood that he was capable of spiritual power rather than limited to only human expression. Miracles and healings associated with Jesus reveal Jesus' grasp of the spiritual capabilities of his willingness to be the personification of them. The Word became flesh. Can you sense what must have been Jesus' realization of his life's purpose? Perhaps it was to be the light to others, to open the spiritual eyes of those who are blinded by materiality, and to free those who are prisoners in their limitations. If you will repeat the affirmation 3 times with me. I am open to embracing my spiritual power, and I endeavor to live my innate divinity. I am open to embracing my spiritual power, and I endeavor to live from my innate divinity. I am open to embracing my spiritual power, and I endeavor to live from my innate divinity. Thank you.
So I think, I don't know for how long, but I think we've lost the art of discourse in this world where we can have conversations with people about different ideas. I kind of cringe sometimes now when people say, I just want to be around like-minded people. And I think, yes, I do like being around like-minded people, and I also love being around people who I think differently than I do, or I have a an idea, or I have real evidence that their beliefs are not mine. Because in having a conversation with them, I find out more about myself, my beliefs. It helps me test my beliefs. I learn things I probably would not have learned spending time with like-minded people, and it just opens up the world for me sometimes. So I've had the pleasure of engaging in some lively discussion with this gentleman, Mark Toussaint, who you know has a beautiful voice, but he's a deep thinker. He's got a deep faith, and sometimes we go into these discussions about God, life, good, evil, meaning, no meaning, significance, insignificance. Why are we here? How are we created? Were we created? Quantum physics, and then he takes me into thinkers that I don't know much about, but he can start the conversation. I can jump in there, and we can have fun with it. So I ran across this video that came through my feed a couple of days ago. I just kind of ran in a lot of different directions with it, and so I sent it to Mark, and I said, I want to know what you think about this. And so we went back and forth in a text about it a little bit, and then we said, how about if we have a conversation? We want to have that conversation here with you. So, Quentin, let's show this video, and then we'll get started. So what does it mean to live a fragile, finite life? So we're just going to...
You sure you want to do this?
No, I'm not. But I never am when we dive into these discussions. So, and at the same time, I get excited about it because I never know where it's going. So for me, yes, this physical existence is a fragile, finite life. And yet, when I contemplate the vastness of space, and a lot of this has meaning to me because of my study with quantum physics and advanced consciousness in the last number of years. And so all this vastness for me is a kind of a mirror of what I think we are and what we've been created to be. And that's where I go with the meaning of all of that. And that there's so much more than this fragile, finite life.
But what is this fragile, finite life for?
I think it's...
Can I blame this on Pete real quick? Can I do that?
You can.
In the men's group, Pete was talking about this a few weeks ago, and it stuck a seed in the back of my head. You were talking about how in this tiny little bit of, this giant little bit of everything, what is the purpose that God put us here? And it stuck in the back of my head, back there, where the cowlick is. And I've been thinking about it since then. So that's where it all started from. And then you plowed into it. So
There's a thread. Started with
fault.
Pete. So I think we come here, and another day we can have a discussion about why and how. But I think we come here to discover the vastness. And even though it is fragile and finite, that we're here for a short amount of time, very short, that there's something here for us to discover. And we come here to discover ourselves as that vastness. That's what I think this is for. Otherwise, it's just mundane life, and we just come and we bump up against each other, and we get jobs, and we pay bills, and then we die. I mean, so there's got to be more than that. Otherwise, what's the point? Otherwise, what's the point? I think there's always a point.
Well, I hate to agree with you, but I agree with you on that.
Oh, my God. So I'm going to go home, buy a diary, and write that in there. He agrees with me.
I don't think life is necessarily short if you think that time is when you're studying quantum physics.
That's right, because there is no such thing as time.
And that's right, it's a
Right.
man-made thing. But it is short to us and our feeling. It
Yes.
feels short because we don't take advantage of it. Every little moment. We don't
Yes.
stretch that into, and when you think about it, there's an infinite number of little moments. I mean, that's long.
And
But it's
so-
short to us because we want it to just go on infinitely.
Yes. And each of those moments is a string of nows, a string of present moments.
Right.
And so there is only now. We talk about that, and that's hard to wrap our heads around. In class, we talk about that a lot, that there is only now. There's no past, there's no future, there's no time, there's just this, now. And then you have another now, and another now, and another now. And so I've stopped saying to myself that life is short. I now say that life is just precious.
It is, indeed.
It's precious and to be treasured, and that each now, even though there's some days I get caught in the mundane, I'm less often in the mundane. I'm more in the preciousness of it.
But how do we tie that to the video that we watched?
I don't know if we have to, but it just started the conversation.
Because we're just one little tiny speck on one tiny little planet, on one Milky Way with thousands of Milky Ways.
In the vastness of it all.
In the vastness of the universe. And yet we still have value. Where does the value come from?
Where do you think it comes from?
Do we assign it to ourselves? Does God assign it to us? Do we? See, I would argue with you from my point of view, because I'm very traditional. I would say we're not God. We are of God.
We are of God, but my belief is that we all have that bit of God's light within us. I learned it as soul, right, growing up. I think of it a little differently now, but it's still that piece of life that was given to us when we materialized here, or we were agreed to manifest and became here on earth. So and time is.
Can we call that the divine spark?
You can call it that,
That's
sure,
what I would call it.
sure.
Because we are created by God.
You used to say the ocean, we are a drop in the ocean, but the ocean is in the drop, right? Yeah. We're all part of it. the same.
Yes, we're all part of it. Yes.
And so that's where so you're saying we're a part of it, and in Unity New Thought philosophy, it's about being it. That we are that all that God is, we are.
See, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe
Yeah,
I
sure.
would hope not. I would not want my God to be me, for God's sake.
So I think that's looking at it from the opposite end, and so that I am projected forward into what God is, not that God is brought to my level, that I am raised to God's level, that I not raised but expanded into that level. And so, yeah, I understand that's a difference, and that's where we go back and forth with it. And I think that's okay. I mean, I don't know that we have to agree on where it all comes from and how it expresses itself.
Well, I think we agree on where it comes from. It comes from God. But then we have to discuss our image of God.
Yes, so what is your image? Tell us your image of God, if you can
My
articulate
image
it.
of God as a creator God, as an overarching controller God, as a father God. See, I view my God as I viewed my father. I think that is where I got my vision of God. My father was a minister. I grew up in the traditional Protestant church, and I learned to view God as my father God. He was loving, but he could be hard if I needed him to be hard. He wanted the best for me, whether I did or not. He was very intelligent, very philosophical. We had long philosophical discussions that I never won because he was a theology professor. And, but my view of God is, and I want it to be, something much greater than I. And for you to say that we are gods, first of all, it's heresy. Second of all, other than that, it's perfectly fine. I wouldn't want my God to be like I am, or even like you are. And I mean, you're closer than I.
I'm glad you know that. You should know that. And I think that's wonderful. And so I don't stop there. So God is also mother for me. God is also mother love. God is also the sum of that and greater than all of that. And that God is all there is, not just father, but mother also. The best of those two energies. And that we are not just created by, but created of, and the creation and creators as well. I think that, and that's just been an evolution in my consciousness from God the Father, because that's what I grew up with. That's what I was given. And so, yes, just like my Father guided me and gave me his highest and best, and gave me a underpinning of faith that has certainly brought me here to this place, into this consciousness that I have now. But my experience has expanded upon that in a way that I didn't expect. It's not even like I even sought it out. It just kind of happened and evolved in and through me through experiences and all the things I bumped into and all the ways that life grabbed me and shook me and took the rug out from under me. And I believe God revealed himself, herself, as
you?
Living, breathing energy that also expresses as me. And not just me, but you and everybody here. All 8 billion plus beings on this planet. And
Are all God.
yes.
They're of God, but not God.
Yes, I know that's what you say. Yes.
So if you took a piece of clay, and you took a piece apart from the clay, is the piece of clay not still clay? The clay?
It is, but if you made a pot from that clay and you took a piece of clay from the pot, it would no longer be a pot, it would be a piece of the pot.
But it would still be a piece of clay,
Because it was made by the same God.
right?
God made all of us. He is in He created our DNA, He created ourselves.
In his image, So
Created
we're all-
us in His image and we fell.
And we created.
That is where we crossed.
I know. We love to talk about the fall.
All ego.
Because God is not in evil.
I believe God contains all things, but is not the thing itself. So God can contain
So
good
God is
and
not
evil. Expresses as us. We are the thing, yes. So yes, let me correct that. God is present in evil and is there, but is also goodness. So it is not just evil. So when you say, is God evil? I have to say yes, and, because you can't just stop there. It is all things, because God lives in and through all things.
So evil
And
is
so, I don't
stronger
know-
than good.
No. So I think, and I don't even know if I want to use the term evil, because I believe not in evil, but things that are out of alignment with the good. And that, and so there's a huge belief in evil, and that is a thing that some people believe it's an entity. and that it molds things, and, the devil made me do it, that kind of thing. And so I do believe that there is only good, and that you can be out of alignment with that in your expression. And so if God contains all things, and there are things that are out of alignment with the good, God can hold that and all other things at the same time. So you can't just stop at so God is evil, period. And then, where's my mic? And then drop the mic. You have to say God is evil, and if you want to, and I have to put air quotes around evil.
So God is both evil and good at the same time.
If you want to use the word evil,
I don't like using that word either. I don't like using the word evil. It is, to me, more out of alignment, like what you're saying. There is negativity. There are people who do evil and do negative things intentionally, okay? Just as much as there are, quote, good people who try to do positive things intentionally. But that's the balance. We have, you can't have people, male, female, light, dark, positive, negative. It's just part of the whole. We're trying to, I hear it as, we're trying to kind of go through and divide everything. But it's not about division, it's about one, to me. And so, anyway.
so let's hold that. We may have a discussion at some point about good and evil and go further into that. But so let's go back into vastness and insignificance and where we go to, because
Where do we get value?
there are 1,000 different conversations in here. So where do we what?
Can I just say one thing real
Sure.
quick? In other words, like what we just saw there, the galaxies and all those things that are and seem to be, and who's giving all these stars and galaxies and God existence?
So who do you think? What do you think?
We are in our
We give the
Father.
galaxies their existence.
Of course.
So when we're gone, they're not there.
Well, is that not a question? If we want to question that, if we wouldn't exist, would it all be? So that's the beauty, and that's the God in us putting all this into motion. But how we do it together, I don't have an explanation.
So that's something that quantum physicists discuss. If we weren't here, and we're the ones who assign meaning, would there be any meaning? Would there even be a universe if there wasn't in us?
So if a tree falls on the forest, doesn't make a sound.
I know, that's the question.
I mean, would there even be a
Bear
God,
still scratches it on it.
you know?
Bear still poops in the woods.
Still pooping them.
Still poops in the woods,
Whether
yeah.
we hear it.
Whether we see it
So,
or not,
I mean, it's,
or smell it or not.
I love it, but it's true. God wouldn't even exist if we wouldn't say, well, God exists. You know, God exists, and so we try to give our power to God, which is us. You
So, okay, so if we go back to insignificance and significance and infinity, and these galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies, and if we are the only ones here on this beautiful blue planet, if we're the only ones with consciousness in all of this vastness of space,
That's a whole other discussion.
hmm?
That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, it is.
I don't see why we would be. I don't know why God would look at Earth and go, that's the best I can do.
But I think he did. We're just not always showing up about that. I think he created us to be that vastness. And he looked at what he created and said that's the best we can do. Now, how we show up sometimes, if there's a God and he's going, oh my God, all my me,
Oh, my.
oh my me, oh my me, what's happened? But gave us everything we needed to be infinitely powerful and to create a world that is infinitely beautiful and is filled with unconditional love. I believe we have that potential. And I think if there's a God looking upon us, he says, yeah, it's there. Find your light
Can I read something?
and shine
Sure.
that.
Sorry, I'm kind of new here, but.
That's okay.
So I read this John 4:13 the other day, and it really is like coming up for me. I'm sorry if I stutter. This is, and I'll just read this, and you guys can discuss it and add to it. But this is how we know that we live in Him and He in us. He has given us of His Spirit, and we have seen and testified that the Father has sent His Son to be the Savior of the world. If anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in them and they in God. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God and God in them. This is how love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment.
That's beautiful, and I agree 100%. That's the gospel story right there.
Mhm.
Traditional Protestant gospel story right there.
And I don't disagree with it.
I think
I
that's
mean, I
relevant
think-
to both sides, though.
Yeah, I think
that's
it's relevant to all sides,
That's
yes.
all sides of the conversation, and you
Mhm.
can part any way you want, but if we are love and we are God, then we are God. Like,
I kept thinking of the scripture, I am the vine and you are the branches. And so we are, I mean, we are the vine as well. We're an extension of the vine. And so that, for me, gives not just that we are heirs, but we are that thing, because it is the same creation, vine and branches.
And God made the vine.
God is the master.
That is the vine.
So the master creator.
So is that
Yeah.
just semantics?
No. I believe that God actually made them. I think
And
God
is the and
actually made the earth.
made the van-
stars.
and is the vine?
He is outside.
So let's just
existence.
listen. Go ahead, keep going, keep
I
talking.
believe that God is outside the understanding of our existence. He is an entity greater than the universe. And I believe He made the universe. And He made us.
Mhm.
We are of Him. We are His creation. But we are not Him.
And
He
so,
is in us if we choose to have Him in us.
so how does that inform your identity? Does it?
It humbles me. And it also gives me a moral compass, I think. I think it lends you to a moral compass.
like
If
that,
I am
yes.
God, then, first of all, I'm flighty. I don't want a God that's flighty. I want a God that is consistent and greater than I.
How'd you come up with, how'd you get to flighty? I mean,
Because I know
why would
myself.
that? But again, I think you're bringing God down down to your level.
See, I think
As
I'm
opposed
right,
to
keeping
another
Him
direction.
above my level.
And I think
Well,
that,
I mean, you know, you.
wait a minute, let's, so Kevin hasn't had a chance to speak. Go ahead, Kevin.
If you assert that we are all part of God and infused with God and spirit ourselves,
I agree.
and that makes us flighty, then why wouldn't God Himself be flighty?
That's a good question. That's why I want a God that's greater than we are. And that's why God sent Christ to be a sacrifice for us and forgive us for our sins.
So I think even the prospect of,
No, I think that's kind of flighty too.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so
I
at all.
think that's, I think saying, I hate to steal
know, I mean, to me, there's no, you know, that's in our thoughts, that's been in our thoughts for years and years and years, just put in there, that we have to defeat something when, and let me tell y'all something else, I'm a true believer that there, to my just thought level, that there is existence of something else out there besides us. We are not the only ones in this whole entire universe. Something else, and I believe in other life. Let's just call it that. So we don't have to use the alien word.
I don't see why not. There's no
Yes,
reason.
right. So if that is true, then here in this realm, I believe that God, needs us to exist for him to have the purpose that he has given this place to me, because if not, then what's the purpose of him?
So let's leave that question out there,
Right.
and, because I'm looking at time.
Oh, that's.
Also, I just want to say, I think as my understanding, my
They hate me
consciousness.
You know they hate me.
No, we do.
Love. It's remember love.
I think as my consciousness expanded to.
As God, I forgive you for that.
That we are all divine beings. I think I am humbled by that. I am more humble than I've ever been in my life, the more that I embrace that I am divine and that I am
A reflection of God.
a reflection, more than just a reflection of God. Because I approach everything with more love, more openness, more curiosity than ever before. Life is more precious, everyone is more precious than ever before.
Why?
Because of that, because when I think of God giving me this power and expresses as me as the same that I am expressing as his presence, that I am his hands and feet on this earth,
So God is greater than you, and he gave that to you.
gave me the greatness, the magnificence.
Right. So we agree. God is outside of you.
And
And
so
inside of you,
there's
if you
no
allow
topping
it.
the mic there either.
If
God
you
is,
choose it.
God is in, around, inside, outside, and me at the same time, and containing me at the same time, containing all of us.
Then your value is intrinsic.
Yes.
Okay, I get that.
I need to do nothing, be nothing, study nothing,
And
have
you have a
nothing.
responsibility.
Yes, to be that in the world. Yes.
Okay. So there's
We
your
agree
basis,
again?
basis for morality.
Oh, another discussion, another day.
I would alter one word, because when you say you have a responsibility, none of us have a responsibility to be anything. We have the ability to be. And I'll throw in a different thought process. If God is all there is, God cannot experience itself, because that's all there is. There's no duality to experience itself. And there's a whole other philosophy that said, in order for God to experience itself, the earth gets created, the inhabitants get created, and a duality, because we live in duality, hot, cold, if you want to call it good, evil, whatever, but we all have the ability to be, because that's what we are.
So let's take a breath there and you can have the last
Yes.
word. And
So
you'll
that's
never
what-
again, I'll never let you have the last
Don't give me the last word.
word. Kind of, it gives me a nervous tick to think I'm giving you the last word.
Don't do that.
It's just something that we need to think of.
Yes, absolutely.
I love this. I love this.
I think sometimes prayer, because you challenge me to think. And it has confirmed in me what I believe, because it's so much easier for me to believe
And
I
so,
don't choose to believe that,
Correct.
just as you choose to believe that you are God. I think we really don't believe two terribly different things. I just,
no, we don't.
I think the basics of what we believe are similar.
Yes,
It's all
I
God is
agree.
in us and of us.
I agree, yes, yes,
I just have a view of evil and good, duality,
yes.
as opposes this one denying that evil is a real thing. But that's a huge conversation.
I know, we'll need a whole day to discuss that. So yes, yeah, we always end up coming to this place where we have so many more points of agreement than disagreement. And I think that's what this is for. And I appreciate you being willing to do this.
Just don't hate me.
We
No.
love you.
My father, the greatest man I've ever known,
Mm-hmm.
would, when we would have these discussions at dinner.
I feel
It's how I
indigestion.
grew up. I don't know what to say.
That explains a lot.
Well, while I was eating my green beans, because he doesn't eat every single damn one of them, would eventually say there are some things that we are, as finite humans, cannot understand.
Maybe that's true, I don't know.
And he would defer to that, you know, when we went to the death of the innocents, when we went to is there evil or good, he would have to defer.
Mhm.
I think whether there's evil or good is simple. That's you can look anywhere and see that. But there are things we can't explain.
And I haven't thrown
And
all of it.
I believe it is one of our purposes on earth to try and figure those out.
Yes,
I think God
absolutely.
gives us a need to try and figure things out. That's what makes us greater than the angels. We're creative. We can make decisions. We can make the wrong decision.
Yes,
Um,
yes, good point.
And so I think that's why this is important.
I agree. Oh, we agree once again. Hair went up in the back of my neck just now.
You don't have much here. Just say it.
Jesus, take the wheel. Thank you, Mark, really. I appreciate this. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Let's take this into meditation. So let's take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. And find a place, a thought, a word, or something from this whole conversation. Where are you settling now in all of this? What can you hold out of this for yourself as meaning for your life? How can you stay curious and open to the vastness of thought, the vastness of wisdom and intelligence? How can you stay open to all those who walk amongst us, who may think differently, feel differently, pray differently, love differently, who express differently, dress differently? Can you be open and curious? Can you ask questions? Can you challenge your own thinking, your own feeling? Can you open a door to greater wisdom, to other minds? Can you call it all good in a world of infinite possibilities? Can you find something in your finite, fragile life that is also able to be curious about the vastness of existence, the billions and trillions, gazillions of stars and galaxies? Can you be open to loving all there is? from God or of God or God herself, itself. Can you find meaning for your life? Do you know how precious and treasured you are in the tapestry that is humanity? That is life with a capital L. Can you step forward from this moment open and, yes, again, curious? On what do you stand? So let's just take a breath and relax, knowing that we don't have to have all the answers in this moment. And we can still love. We can still express as boldly, as completely, as brilliantly as we can. And so, yes, we give thanks for choice, for the ability to question, to discern, to evaluate, to choose and choose again, to be wrong, to be right, to evolve, to expand. So we say yes to life in all its mystery, in all its goodness. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.